I walk into a bar.
Shoving in the front door is this hulking beast of a... You would call him a man, but he's not quite.
Suppose I'll just punch him with my...
Wow. You're really unimpressed with him.
Okay.
Oh, you shouldn't have done that.
Where did this... What happened with the nice and the friendly and the spiked gauntlet?
Doesn't attack, but he swings around. He says, "Don't you move!" You gonna stay or move?
Oh, I'm gonna move.
I want them to make all the decisions about their characters, whether those decisions are really good or really stupid. You have 1 hit point left.
Oh, what?
Bartender yells out to the guy who's like basically hanging out the door, "Go get the constable, now!" What's going on here?
I'm super nervous because the man in the corner indicated that he was more trouble.
Sendia, it's a police officer. We're on the same side. He's good. He's going to punish Hogbiter, and we're going to be fine.
And then he sees these goofballs with weapons drawn, pointed at each other. The same shtick again, really? That's his sort of feeling for this. There's a deeper story to him, but we'll not go further with that. What is going on here?
This guy looks a lot like Snape. He doesn't feel like a constable. It's an assumption. I know. When you first meet somebody, you have to make a certain set of assumptions to figure out how you can interact with them. There was a little misunderstanding, but we're all good now. We're all just having some drinks and chilling out. Sorry about the problem.
This is when the barkeep jumps in like, "There was gonna be a fight! You were gonna wreck my bar! You wrecked my bar!"
I was scared. If I get struck again, I will die. Everything is settled now. Take your money and move on.
Are you talking to the barkeep?
Barkeep.
I felt so bad. I started it to protect the bar and help it, and now look what happened to the bar.
Wounded bartender, my ass. Earmuffs.
You know, I just had this thought pop in my head. What if Hogbiter and the barkeeper are friends?
No, they were seriously gonna wreck the place. And Hogbiter.
Hogbiter almost killed. Do you see the bloody pulp on the floor?
Hogbiter jumps in at this point. "They attacked me! This one punched me in the head! Or tried. I've got a lot of damage here, and I need for this to be compensated."
What damage? What's our damage? Let's see what the damage is.
A, you have all these drinks. B, there's a couple broken bottles of drinks.
Who broke the bottles?
There's the arrows.
Oh, I thought those went up the stairs.
Yes, it's something!
Constable's gonna jump in here. Enough of this. You're all coming to the... You'll spend the night in the prison.
You serious?
And then once he's talking about how Hogbiter's regular and he's like putting us in jail, then I'm like, okay, so you're on the side of the orc?
He eyeballs the corner where you and the patron at the table are. Is she involved with this? And the patron looks to you.
So I give him a smile and push my beer towards him.
The patron says, "Yeah."
Really? Really? I got that guy a drink.
So we're going to do what's called a skill challenge.
Okay.
A skill check is exactly what it sounds like, using the 20-sided die to roll and achieve a certain difficulty number that is assigned by the dungeon master for the task, based on what it is. Basically, a way to use your skills to achieve a goal. But I wanted to bring it in early so they become familiar with the idea, to know that there's another way to get things done besides straight up combat. Your goal is to convince the constable that you should not spend the night in the clink. And I wanted to see what they could do to keep that from happening.
Nobody wants to go to jail. Jail is not a fun place to be, especially not in a little town with some creepy Snape guy looking over your shoulder all the time.
So if I figure out what he wants, you could figure out how to negotiate that.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I have 14 charisma. I'm trained in athletics, endurance, healing, history, and insight.
I think Brandon really helped us out today with this skill check. I feel like it's better at bringing us all together as a team. I now know that Abby actually has fantastic insight.
So it sounds like these two can use perception and insight to kind of figure out ways that we can get out of this. You know, what Hogbiter wants, what the Constable wants, what the Constable wants. I've got a decent charisma with diplomacy. I mean, it's not great charisma, it's 10 charisma, but I've got diplomacy, so it's a +5. So that's decent. And she's got streetwise, so maybe between all of that we could
Negotiate something.
get out of jail free.
You're looking at this constable who's tapping his very unwieldy sword. It's a broadsword. It's got very serrated edges on one side, which is not a very common thing for a sword.
Saw.
And it's a very dark metal.
So I feel like every time Brandon mentions like, well, his sword is extra awesome, it's like, well, I think we should probe on that. Just not knowing when that's important and when that isn't important. I think we're still trying to navigate that.
He's looking at you, and he's trying to determine the situation. What are you trying to do with your insight?
I'm going to say that this guy probably doesn't want to deal with having more people in jail, because I got a feeling he doesn't really like having people in jail. Don't waste your time with us. We're not going to be a problem or anything like that. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Does that make sense?
I think all the assumptions that we're making about these characters are probably hurting us.
Because there's such a large spectrum of choices of, oh, he's this, maybe he's like insecure, or oh, he's this, maybe he's like cursed, or it might hurt him or not hurt him, or he might not know or not.
When you have too many options, that can paralyze you.
I don't really see a problem with it. I mean, whether it helps us or hurts us in the long term, it makes a more fun game to play, and it's what our characters would be doing.
So you might use your insight
Yes.
to get kind of like a feel for what his motivation is. Okay, so you're going to basically take a good hard look at the constable and try to determine what's going to be best for him, what he wants out of the situation. Yes. Let's have an insight roll. Oh.
I'm not too great.
Oh, poor Abby. We really do need to come in and do like some kind of spiritual cleansing of her dice.
Wimpy paladin here.
So I'll also tell you that the number of failures you have makes what happens next more difficult.
He doesn't feel like a constable to me. I'm wondering if he has another role in the world. I would also assume a constable would not have a serrated sword. If he's a lawful kind of guy, I would assume he would not necessarily have a sword that looks like it's something that you would use to gut people on a regular basis.
I mean, maybe if there's a way that I could learn more about the sword that he's carrying, like its background or what the markings mean, so that I could maybe learn more about his background or strike up a conversation.
I think the sword's important.
Okay.
Brandon mentioned the sword. That's a lead that we should definitely like look at the sword a little bit more.
Go.
Nerve-wracking part.
8 plus 10.
Yes.
18!
Ha! Bam!
Yeah.
So you're looking at this sword. I said it's a darker metal. It's pretty much straight up black, and it's got a sheen to it. It looks wet. There are markings. You do notice like along the edge of the blade. It's not in a language you understand. Both the blade and the serrated bits do have discoloration, as in
Blood.
potentially. The hilt is a little worn. It's wrapped up in like a black tape as well, but it's sort of frayed around the tape. Apparently uses it for a lot of action and uses it handily. I mean, he's good with it. Pretty well calloused where he's holding on to that blade. What you're learning here is he's skilled with it. It's seen action. It's seen most likely, fatalities.
Okay.
And he keeps it very close. Even when he's not wielding it, he's touching it. Do you want to do anything else along with sort of perceiving anything about the sword? Well, how's that going to keep you out of prison?
I don't know.
What can you say with that? We really didn't get a lot of information other than it's a badass looking sword.
I'm sorry you were pulled away from whatever it was you were doing. I'm sure you're a very busy man. There was an argument happening, but I feel like we've resolved it, and I apologize to the barkeep, but your sword is so handsome. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
It's none of your business right now. My sword is old, strong, and deadly. What else do you need to know?
This guy's not very friendly.
First off, I wanted to acknowledge that The situation looked a little weird, but we were past it. And the second part of it was I'm going to try and distract him a little bit.
And it worked. It distracted him, which got him off balance.
That's what I liked about that, was it threw him off completely. So, skill check. All right, that works.
I think she's very smart.
Okay, so he's
good.
focused on his sword right now?
He's
Maybe taken a little off guard?
thrown off
Okay.
by the fact that you
Perfect.
started talking about his impressive sword.
I mean, so maybe somebody
I
else
say
could
we should.
continue the distraction.
Okay, back to what I've got. I mean, I can do history. I've got a decent check on history. I
Well,
feel like
to
this
know
guy has
some
something
character
he's wanting to do. Like, he's a busy dude. I don't think he wants to be here. He's got something else he needs to be doing. Is there a way that we can convince him that we're not worth his time? He's got more important things than us. We're just level 1 characters. So
I
if you did a
failed.
perception check first to find some more information about the thing, like, is he on his way? Is there somebody outside? Like Brandon mentioned a minute ago, is there somebody like outside as backup? Was he on his way to do something else? Is he on his way to an adventure and we pulled him aside from treasure hunting to come and waste his time with us, kind of thing?
Can I just steal my
Isn't
gold
the
back
last-
and leave?
Everything she does is always like, but what about me?
Abby and I were just like, oh God.
I was just joking around. I wasn't serious. Later, not now. Because I have great thievery. So I have a +9 bonus on that.
Maybe we could just like keep trying to talk to him, distract him, and then like just try and smooth stuff over, apologize to Hogbiter, and pay off the
I like that idea
bartender
too.
for the broken bottles.
I'm thinking Abby's idea is the best. That was like a good plan because it was executable. Is there some elvish royalty thing that I have in my family that I can bring out and go, wah ha
It's like,
ha?
do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Do you
Do you know
who
where I come
am?
from?
You're not going to be able to both distract the guy and pay off the bartender.
So you got to make a choice.
So you have to like.
I'm gonna distract the constable because I've paid a lot.
You could like distract it and then sort of offhand mention, yes, we were planning on paying off for the bottles. We apologize for breaking them.
Okay, Constable, hi. We had a little misunderstanding and it kind of went a little out of control, but the orc is sitting there. Right now, the situation's fine. I've been a little beaten up, but it's fine. Is there a way we can settle this without going to jail?
All right, so you're just going to do a straight up charisma roll.
Whoa.
Oh, crap.
Oops.
It's a 5.
So bad. I eagerly peek down the DM screen, and then I regretfully put it back up. Dice are cruel.
Oh, God. What am I going to do?
It all comes down to you, sir.
I hate this.
I think I do an Arcana check on the sword. If I know the history of the sword, and when she talked about it, he was a little like, whoa, don't talk about my sword. If I find out about the sword and I find some history about the sword, I can then bring that up to the guy and say, oh, I know what you got there, and we can kind of take the conversation there. He's obviously a little distracted by the sword,
Yeah,
so if I
I think
learn
he's
more
distracted
about it, then... So I need to do a skill that's got a high level of success. The best thing I can do is an Arcana check. Abby was awesome in saying, you know, there's some magic here, and she's totally right.
It seemed very obvious to me that it was a magic sword, which makes me feel that the constable is a blade singer.
So I need to go through and think, okay, that's a magic sword. Let's do an Arcana check. To all of you watching out there, if you've never played this game, this moment we are about to roll, it makes you sweat.
This is like,
Oh, God. Okay. All right.
Oh, God.
9.
yes!
Did we make it? If we lost that last roll, we're screwed. It was over. We're going to be beheaded or something.
What did we learn?
So the sword is very recognizable, and you have read about that sword.
I knew it.
You know that it is ancient, and it has seen many wars. The recent past of the sword is very cloudy. No one really knows where that sword ended up. Now it's in this small burg held by a constable. You don't know anything about the magic properties of it, but you feel like it has like a curse to it. There's blood everywhere this thing goes. Not really details, you don't know the name of it, you don't know any powers that it may or may not have, but you feel it's cursed, and you feel that it has a bloody past.
If a magical sword appears in like our first adventure, and it's so ancient, so magical, I don't think it's just going to disappear like that.
If I know that the sword is cursed and he's wielding it, he is cursed.
Right.
So
let
maybe
him
there's
know
some way
that.
that we can help him.
But
Like,
I love it when y'all look for me for facial takes.
I know, like,
He,
there's a tell, you've got to tell.
I think this sword is very important to him. I don't think he minds being cursed by it. I think it's important to him, and if we start being like, can we help you get rid of your most prized possession, it's not going to be good.
I really feel like I need to talk about this sword, but I don't want to make him
It
mad.
definitely should probably be sword related.
Yeah,
Maybe
since
you
that's what I
should.
got. What if I'm really vague about it? Be like, I know what you're going through.
No, you don't. Mark's character almost got hit in the face by the constable when he when he said that.
it would be like, you know, just a complete stranger like walking up to you and being like, I know what you're going through. Okay, buddy.
I think it's a cool line.
Hey, buddy, like, no, you don't do that to the police ever. Just no.
Every day, I ask random people what they're going through.
What I'm going through? I'm going through a headache right now.
That kind of thing always works on like TV shows and like superheroes when the good guy like goes up and says, I know what you're going through, and the bad guy has this epiphany and this moment of realization. We're like, you're right. Why not? Why not?
Richardson, what do they owe? The bartender's Richardson. 10 gold.
Like 6 gold.
I'll contribute the rest.
Bartender takes the gold. Thank you.
Really? I'm a little grumpy about it. I am with Sanchito when it comes to coming back and robbing this guy blind.
I can't wait to see Abby and Sanchita get in a fight when Sanchita tries to get that gold back. That's going to be fun.
Hogbiter, are you fine? Yeah, they're just troublemakers out of town. I shouldn't have egged them on.
You know what? I'm going to say thanks because I've been wanting to get with this guy for a while, and I feel like he's a misunderstood guy. So I'm just like, you know what?
Wow.
Thanks, Hoggy. You
So
know,
wishy-washy. You're new here.
Yeah.
I understand that you weren't necessarily looking for a fight, but sometimes fights happen. Don't let it happen again in my town.
Yes, sir.
Twirls his cape, storms out. Congratulations on not spending the night in prison.
Do you expect us to?
I really did. Hogbiter leaves.
What the
Thanks for the drink.
Yeah.
Man in the corner,
Oh, finally.
watching you all. Watch you fumble your way out of that situation. He stands up and he walks around the table so that he's next to you. And just move it, like just in front of you. Yeah, you go. My name is Tom Wellington, and that was an impressive display, all of you. I'm very astounded by holding your own. I'm astounded by you holding your own against Hogbiter, and then avoiding trouble with the constable, because the constable is pure trouble. I run this town. I would like for you, all of you, even you, to go on a mission for me.
Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and make sure you come by Outlaw Moon. It's awesome.
What do you think I should do next? Should I steal the gold? I'm gonna steal the gold. Will you steal the gold with me?
If you think I'm doing all right, let me know. If you think I'm doing terribly, you can keep that to yourself.
Remember, I know what you're going through.
I hate this.